One thing when you drop in Miramar is knowing also the car spawn, so if you want to drop in, I don't know, Valamar, Chumacera, it is still easily possible for you to get to that spot purely by just knowing a drop location where there are cars, get into it and take one of the high roads and get into that spot. There we go, so I'm not really expecting too much to happen in this game, though one thing I do want to mention, and that's going to be about BTR. They have been having a real rough time on these games. They talked about a few of the stats, especially Luxy having a real hard time himself. I think an average survival time, I believe it was of 14 minutes, which is extremely low for BTR ratio. Miramar is, I would say, one of their best maps. I think they perform the best on it, and they are really strong when it comes to their rotation. So this could be the one to put them back on the saddle, put them back into the running. But it's going to require a lot because now you're a little bit behind. And as Blair said multiple times on the desk, there's not that many games. So now is the point in time where we need to look at BTR and be like, okay, now you get serious and now you get into the game.
But we also know that BTR are easily the kind of team that can just turn the heat up at the
like PMGC,
right? Yeah, at a dime they can just turn the heat up and they'll go from like 0 to 100 in a matter of minutes, so to speak. So I know that they'll pull that out. Looking at where teams are dropping, be a little bit of a cluster Los Leones with I8 going for a split drop outside the Los Leones. A1 are already there. The Xavier are going to be on that western side. And when I was talking to Crypto and he's saying about dropping Los Leones, said it should be okay because it's a very big area, and you can shift down to the south, to the west, to the east, to the north, and even if you have 2 or 3 teams dropping there, it should be okay, and it seems like it's the case for them. However, that circle is on towards the northeastern side of the map, so they are going to have a little bit of a trickier time rotating in, depending on the timing. If they rotate in at the same time as A1 or the Xavier, it could be in a little bit of a hassle. One thing I noticed as well is that nobody has dropped in Picado, Max. Nobody at all. It's free.
BTR typically drop there, and they changed it. So interesting to know what the game plan is for them at least this time. Though I want to touch upon what you said of maybe being a little bit hard to move away from Los Leones. I think it's actually relatively easy for them because we see the plane path. And one thing that I think a lot of these teams, literally all these teams are the best team of their country. That is straight up facts. That is how things work out. That is why you're at this tournament. That is why you're at this level of play. And they know how to read circles and also plane path when they work together. And you can have very easy entry points. Here you're looking at the southern western side of the circle. It's a very easy entry point. So I'm expecting very easy things to come out. Though, this is not going to be an easy fight, as we're going to have DS Gaming taking that assault onto Yalla Esports. And Yalla being extremely spread away from each other, actually doing a 4-man spread. DS Gaming pushing as a 4-man, there's nothing you can do, and Yalla Esports just give away and just, okay, take one player, but we are not fighting this time versus DS Gaming.
And it's also even worse because the top damage player from their team, Ida, is the one that has gone down, so that kind of takes a lot of strength away from their potential coming into later stages of the game. But DS reacting really well, in this game, and it's a pattern we've seen and a trait that we've seen from them in the game so far, right? They react very well to anything that happens around them, whether it's a circle shift, whether it's a team around them. Their ability to just make that decision, and that comes down to strong IGLing and good communication to the team with the team, shows that they are more than able to compete with the best across the world.
Oh, very clearly, I think so. So, Durant, okay, just going to jump on over. He's going to be making it out of the range of DS Gaming. But I find this very interesting, and that's something that Jason talked about on the desk, is normally when you talk about South Korean gaming, especially on FPS, they are really strong. And when I've watched a few of the Korean tournaments happen for PUBG Mobile, it seemed like the meta over there is very orientated towards strong rotations, 10,000 IQ rotations. You're like, wow, I didn't even think of that. I didn't think it was even possible. And I think that the gunplay was missing, should I say? Especially when I'm thinking back on the PMGC League stage, we had Archer, right? And I had actually quite a few. I had a lot of issues with Archer back in the day. But the rotations were pretty strong, but how they took fights was very weak. And it seemed like things have evolved, and now they have improved. Not only just this team, but the entire South Korean ecosystem of PUBG Mobile has improved, and now they are ready to take these fights. And that is definitely something you need when you are taking fights versus the best teams of their own respective countries.
Totally agree with you. There from Reject goes down. Yes, pick another kill off. That's 2. Keep them coming, guys. That's what DS are saying. Keep them coming. Come on. Come on. Feed me more. Feed me more. I'll take it all day, every day. Fantastic start for them. Reject's rotation with Scout fortunately doesn't work out. Valdez are still in San Martin, which I worry about a little bit. Now, it's more on the western edge of San Martin, which I think is okay. But again, the timing of their disengagement away from the city is going to be incredibly important. DRS dropped in power grid. They moved a little bit more heavily up north now into a centralized position, quite high up, overlooking Craterfields Hill, the hill outside El Pozo, outside of San Martin and Hacienda. DRS are in a fantastic position right now, but they're also looking to even go deeper in by going up onto that hill outside El Pozo.
And every time we talk about DRS and then playing onto this map of Miramar, I think back on PMGC League stage when we had one of the most insane finishes. It was Nepal versus Nepal, Abrupt Slayers versus DRS. And it was one of the most interesting and hyped up matches that I've seen in a long time. And it's great to see that the Nepali region in general seems to be really strong on Miramar. They are some of the best, I would say, on there very clearly when you're looking at the international stage. And DRS just encapsulates that kind of mindset, and their rotations show it, especially in this game, right? You just mentioned Nepal and Miramar is just like a cocktail and a great recipe for success, and hopefully that could now reward them with, I was going to say a win, but actually that would be another win. They got himself a win on Sanhok, so we'll see if they can get himself a double whammy coming their way.
Maybe GeekFam will be the first team to get a back-to-back.
Also, yeah.
Dropped in El Pozo. They've gone a little bit up north, more towards the Craterfields Hill. Close to Navi, though. Navi dropped in Le Cobre area, and they're going down south. So a lot of teams kind of thinking a little bit similarly in terms of path lines to head into a strong area of this phase 1. The only problem about being on the kind of western side of Craterfields is you get very little information more towards the eastern side of the map, and if phase 2 shifts down to southeast, that'll of course make it a little bit trickier for the likes of Navi, GeekFam, and hell, even Blacklist, who are on the very, very northeastern edge of the circle.
I'm having a hard time in what's going on with Myth.
You're just having a hard time? Or do you need to talk about it?
Every time I'm casting with you, I think I'm having a hard time.
Bro, that was just harsh, man.
Hey, bro, you dissed my pancakes earlier, okay? That was not okay. It was completely out of the realm of things you should be allowed to say against me, so I just had to fight back. No, I love casting with you, man, you know it. But Team Myth, they tend to really want to play edge, like a little bit too much, I would say, from time to time. This is great. On the circle like this, I think that's great, but now, and especially with the phase 2 like that, maybe you got to start thinking of trying to actually get into the circle. Maybe not center, but actually get in there. They play in the blue quite a bit, and I think, especially on that Sanhok game we had earlier, it did hurt them a bit, and they actually lost their life. I believe it was versus Blacklist International. So playing edge is fine, and playing in the blue is fine if you want to delay that rotation, but when you have to push into the circle, you can't delay it. The more you delay it, the slimmer the chances are that you're actually going to be in a good spot with 4 players remaining.
I agree. The fact that they've got 3 kills in 3 games speaks for itself. Sinister nearly getting called out. Nasser looking to finally start off their day 1 of PMWI. Disappointing performances so far from Nasser, representing Jordan. Strong country when they're given the opportunity. Dante playing a forward, though. A1 are not to be messed about this, though, let's be fair. They lit up the scene back in PMGC. They stole so many hearts, and since then, they have been realistically the best team and the biggest representatives of Bangladesh and Pubg Mobile Esports, and they're not looking to stop anytime soon.
I wonder if Dante's still mad about the nade on Sanhok. He's gonna get Sinister back at some point, I can tell you, man. He's gonna get him. But there's a little bit of back and forth, just mostly around information gathering. Sinister was able to heal up back to 75 to 80% HP, so he's gonna be ready to take this fight. MDA's got to be careful. He's got that gun peeking over the hill, so that's something A1 could capitalize on. It's Dante trying to move on down. I think they understand that HMDA is just completely spread, and they are slowly going his way. They have no idea. Sinister instantly bites the bullet. Not going to be able to go for the flush just yet, though. He has to peek on over, and he will put himself at risk of 6-9 from the other side, actually taking himself down. And this, exactly as I said, you should not go for the flush. Otherwise, you're going to get instantly punished. And Jackson, Also, 6ix9ine are going to go for the full-on push, and yeah, that is the flush to cost them too much.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's low-key gone against him now as Dante's being knocked down inside the blue. Hassan is going to be pushing forward. Confirm that kill 6ix9ine. Happy days, and now push in. I don't know if Dante is going to be able to get revived up. I would argue it's not even worth it because he's already in the blue. Phase 2 is closing in. You're not that far away from the edge of the circle. Cut your losses, A1, and continue on as a 3-man team. Don't stay there.
Not bad for Dante, man. He's having a rough day, but we'll be able to make it back throughout the next 3 days. I'm sure about it. Though, moving on forward. Gonna start moving out. Said the blue zone going to be on top of it. It's only phase 2, so we're going to be fine. We want to try and hold on to those resources. You might have a few standoffs later on down the line, so you want to have as much
exactly
you can potentially hold on to yourself. As they're going to be moving out. Though, interesting thing, we saw M249. For all you guys out there that maybe just watch esports from time to time and maybe don't play the game too much and you just enjoy the esports side of things, the most recent update of PUBG Mobile allowed the M249 to actually spawn not in crates, but anywhere around the map. Sure, it's a little bit rarer than, for example, your M4s and such, but now instead of having the M249 being this special weapon you see very rarely and that destroys everyone, now it's a normal weapon. So that is something to keep in mind, that you could very easily get squad wiped if you have an M249 against you.
It was nerfed a little bit as far as I know.
Of course, yes, it had
size, but it is still powerful in its own way. Myth, I believe, have gotten a kill onto one of the reject players who are now down to 2, Divine and Lapis. So that's good by Myth to recognize an opportunity to get a kill. Phase 3, though, shifting down south into the Picado Hills along with San Martin in play, and Valdez's position is absolutely spot on. It's that kind of massive, I suppose, kind of like a Titanic level kind of front row seat information position that Valdez hold on to. They overlook San Martin. They're able to get an eye on teams that are on the southern side of the circle as well as the north and the west. So Valdez are in the perfect position unless they, of course, get breached.
We'll see as here we go. That's the fight happening. A1 gonna get marched upon, tipping on their toes. That's gonna be Fnatic Zombie. Salam had no idea what's about to hit him on the head, and he instantly gets bonked out of the lobby. Fnatic Zombies now have the intel that A1 is in fact in a position right up north of where they are, so they're going to try and go for the long way around, wrap around, avoid the fight. We're talking about avoiding the fight. DRS trying their best to avoid it, but they just can't. They have to crash inside the compound. Nima, Matthew and Ninja are going to be pinned down in this location. The nades are going to be flying on by. Galzin could be knocked on down. The nade a little bit too short on the throw. Unfortunately, as Galzin able to actually make it over, but they're even getting shot from high above. Zeus has seen this unfold from a distance like, what's happening here? We're just going to take all the kills and snatch it for ourselves.
Of course, opportunity to third party. It's something that Zeus are very open to. And look, I get with DRS. They kind of committed to that more western side of the circle on phase 1, phase 2. But the hill that Zeus holds on to, DRS should have been there, to be honest, from phase 1. That's the hill that I was really looking at DRS going to, but because they didn't, they're paying the price for it. They're not out of the game just yet. They've only lost 1 player. And because Zeus is kind of overlooking from the other side of the hill, GeekFam are a little bit distracted by Zeus more than DRS. So that allows DRS to at least stay out of sight, out of mind.
God. We got on nice little bolt action coming out actually from down below with the Car 98. Got to be careful. Don't peek your head out too much. Oh, I thought that was going to be a connection for a second onto Ziol, but you'll be able to hold on to it. Gotta say, we opened our PMGC cards right recently, and I got like, I think I got 30 or 40 Ziols. It's a cool card, but it's got a lot of the lads.
Also, I have a signature Ably. Just putting that out there.
Oh, true.
I have Ably's signature, and I have Tixie's.
Man of culture, I see. Man of culture.
You know, so I'm their
trade.
#1 fans.
We'll have a few trades going out as Xavier now going to be pushing their way forward. Also, they're looking to enter from the northern edge. Though, if the circle goes down south, so many teams are going to be forced to take these fights, especially, for example, Navi and Xavier. So this shift is going to mean a lot. But actually, this is amazing for Zeus. Hey, entirety of their hill on which they are currently in the position, is currently inside the circle. They don't have to move, while they can still keep pressure down on DRS and GeekFam down below. This is huge for them. That could result in a lot of kills coming their way.
But they also can't get tunnel vision, right? Because now there's a free opportunity for I8 to breach on top of the hill and maybe pick Zeus from the side. And I think Icy is going a little bit more towards the south to try and be aware of that. So Zeus, good thinking. But again, don't get tunnel vision. Looking at Navi, though, they have a 2-2 split inside this circle. Very interesting. I don't agree with it, to be honest, because we're in phase 4 already. It's that time in the game where you really need to stick as a full squad or 3-1, so you're ready to protect the stranglehold of your position inside the circle, while Myth starting to wake up, put on a little bit of makeup, and get a little bit crazy up inside this Miramar map.
Or Divine. He's hoping, but they know this was only a knock, and they're now to go for the flight. They should be aware that there's a chance the player's going to be here. Divine goes for the shot. AKM in hand, goes for the Bloom shot, but only one bullet is all you need, and that's it for Reject. Unfortunately for them, the Japanese team is going to be out of the game in 16th. First team to be eliminated on this Miramar game, and the only Miramar game of the day, actually, so you need to try and have the impact while you still can. But now all the teams actually moving in, and actually not many squad wipes. Seeing how big this circle is and how little amount of teams actually inside the circle, I was expecting us to be maybe down to, maybe 13 or 14 by now, but it's a lot slower than expected.
It's just teams have kind of lost a player or two and then disengaged away. So we still have the high volume of teams, but we are down to 50 players, with 6 being taken out from Valdez. Gives an opening for Blacklist International to push up this hill towards this compound, but Yala are somewhat around them. Nasser are as well, despite those two teams being down to a sliver of players. Well, Zeus, they've created a little bit of a gap for possibly Geek Fam and DRS to breach in onto the edge of the circle, but it realistically makes sense because they have to worry about I8 on the other side, like I pointed out earlier on.
Not gonna lie, this is the first time I'm casting Geek Fam, and I'm already a fan of their rotations. I mentioned the rotation they did early game, last game in Gatka Fields to get the high ground, get the intel, and to facilitate further rotations. It resulted in them taking the game, and now they actually extract themselves away from this fight between DRS, Zeus, and themselves, and now they are controlling the northern side. Not only are they in circle, but they can also snap and grab a few kills onto Zeus or even DRS in the process. Yeah. It's so simple yet so effective. I'm loving how Geek Fam is playing, and their take on Pubg Mobile is so out there, and I think it's just rewarding them with such consistency that if they can do this all the time, we might see them be first at the end.
Hope that comes to fruition. Till that happens, there's a lot of teams around them that are ready to challenge, contest, push into their limits. For Geek Fam, I would love to see them actually wrap around the side of that building and go to the compound. I feel like that's a little bit of a safer option, as well as preparing for a potential phase 5 shift in that direction. I understand if they don't have vehicles, they might be afraid to head towards that area as Fnatic Zombies and I8 are engaging. Icy comes in to get a backstab from behind, puts even more pressure on I8, and they lose a player.
Fnatic Zombies from United Arab Emirates must give it a fair shot, but seem like it will not go any further, apparently. So that's going to be the end of their story on this Miramar game, as they're going to have to now leave the other teams around them, move their way forward. Yellow Esports also getting picked away. There you go. This is the tipping point. This is the moment where I thought there's not enough space to fight from, but now the teams are slowly but surely getting decimated one by one. Fnatic Zombies, NASA, Reject, and Yellow Esports will be the first 4 teams to be taken out. Now only 12 shall remain and prevail, but Navi still for a relatively big spread in this circle, just now phase 5. Is this too much? Are they fighting down more than they can shoot?
No, sorry, never mind that. We've got BTR breaching upon A1. The PMGC battle.
We'll see.
Comes back up. Who's going to come out on top? It seems like BTR are in a much better position because A1 are closer to the high ground, although that's working out.
Nice.
They have Zeus from behind, and a lovely grenade puts the end to Jax.
I see that. We're going to get vengeance for the PMGC. Man, that's a double! Zoxy, you're smurfing it with those nades. What are you doing? Gonna get a third, a little bit short. We'll get some tick damage down onto Jax, and now with the M249, he picked it up in a building earlier, and he's ready to mow down the competition. Sinister has nothing to do. He is just a slither of HP remaining, and he is taken down. BTR get vengeance for the PMGC, and has 4 kills coming their way.
Man, has the Kryptonite turned around? Are BTR now A1's Kryptonite? Well, look, for the time being, that has been the case, but we switch on over to DS Gaming being put under so much pressure as Myths. What has happened to them in this 4th game? Doing so much better, but Sporta catching them off guard.
Oh, they didn't expect it to actually push out that building. Rio trying to get the intel. Maybe just Nate. Do they not have nades. What nade do you need to put on top of Sporter? I think they did go for the molly inside. Yeah, they put the molly inside of it. There you go. He had to jump out. Gonna go for the spray once again.
Oh, no.
Sporter, you're just ruining it all for Myth. Down to, once again, a few HP with the AK. Gonna have to reload. Get himself his nade, ready to go. But ZZP from DS Gaming is going for the wraparound. Myth still able to hold on to just a 2 HP, and they do get it done. That's a South Korean team out of the game. Broly holding his life by a thread. Can he get his team back on the saddle and back in a game, or are they about to get taken down by their teams around them?
Oh, Myth got a gift from Blacklist. Believe it or not, that was a third party from Blacklist, who are even ignoring now Myth and allowing those full revives to be played out. BTR push in onto that compound. CS, Zeus have gone there as well. Geek Fam are there as well. It makes sense. We're in the late stages of the game. You kind of got to take what you can get in terms of hard cover, because the open high ground is not easy to deal with.
I can certainly see also on the minimap on the top right of your screen, no one wants to go dead center. It is not great terrain. Literally nothing to fight from. So they're trying to avoid it like the plague. And the circle actually goes on top of it. There's no avoiding it, apparently, Imperial. You're going to have to go smack that center. I know. Hey, I said I'm the evil caster, right? I love to see it. I press the button, boom. Worst circle we could ever ask for goes right there. Zeus have yet to move forward, though. And unfortunately, not unfortunately, that's an amazing shot. Concept going to be like, where did that come from? I have no idea. Zeus still has a 4-man. They need to start thinking of pushing their way forward. If they get a few knocks, that's going to make that shift so much easier for themselves.
Xavier putting the push onto Navi, just Kitsune left on their own, but he's in amongst BTR, right? So,
I'm a BTR player.
It's not looking good for Navi. Yeah,
I'm BTR. I'm new IGL now.
I'm not yellow. I'm red. You know.
Oh, there you go. Oh no, it's treason. Then he jumps on out. Can he get the double? No, he only gets one. Liquid was so low, almost able to pick himself up a 1v2. It's still a better game than what we saw in their two first performances. Last game was also a really good increase for Navi, but this one did end a little bit shortly for them, and it did not go their way. But still, Navi normally will be able to get the res, and they will be back up as a 2-man. But Liquid, he's just surviving so much. He has the highest survival time for BTR, and it goes to show the newest addition is a great addition for BTR.
Oh, yes, indeed. Can we really call him a new addition anymore? As Concept gets a beautiful nade onto Brody. Man, Myth, can you stop getting naded, please? Come on, guys. You're better than that. As Valdez continue to put the pressure on towards the other side. Myth once again down to just one.
They can't see where they're shooting, but they're just keeping the pressure down, and Myth can't do anything about it. They are getting absolutely taken down one by one. There are a lot of teams currently going to be suffering big casualties, and Valdez, are they going to make it happen again? They are currently the most central team in the circle. They got the highest ground position other than a Hosem for Myth. Currently, they get rid of him. They got the tippity top of the mountain under their control, and all the information coming their way. Are they going to do 4 top 3s, 4 games back-to-back? The dream is about to become reality for Valdez, and we'll even see if they can actually turn it and convert it into a win this time.
I'm 99% sure it's going to be 4 top 3s in a row, but I don't know if they're going to claim this chicken dinner. Yeah. The reason why is because look at the spread from the Xavier on the northeast. The top 5 comes through. Valdez are already looking good on 9 kills max. 9 kills for Valdez in this game.
Before this game, they had an average of 7 kills out of 3 games.
Yeah.
This is, like we said it, right? Beforehand, on the desk, I think they mentioned it too. This was a team that was very up and down. Back in the PMWL, looking at this, they turned a new leaf. This is consistency at its finest. Zeus trying to push out. The smokes will make it a little bit easier for them, but the blue zone is ticking down heavily, making a heal off even harder for them to really deal with. Zor, I think, going for another first aid. But Martin, he's just pinning everyone down. You cannot escape this compound. I think the Zeus have come to terms with the fact that they are not going to go any further in this game. Aberly runs on out. He didn't get spotted by Martin. He doesn't know. He didn't see him. He's on the right. Oh no, that could ruin everything. He's in a bush. He's pulling the Ryzen. Let's go.
And because that's only a knock, it's not confirmed. Squad-wide, Valdez might be too distracted by Zeus, and the Xavier are breaching in on towards the north. Look at the control from the Xavier. It's still up as a full squad. Only 3 kills, but they're looking to seal this game 4.
Xavier and also Valdez. Look how he meets a game after last time on the Gatka Fields finish on a rank war of game 3. Have a little bit of back and forth. Let's see if Valdez can try and get a little bit of a better score this time around and push it the extra limit. Still going to be one player of Blacklist International right behind them. Gooey inside that minibus, or a party bus you might call it. Maybe trying to use that as a little bit of a protection for his team, create a little bit of a mini wall. I think there will be a great usage of that Van, especially when you have the high ground. That could make a significant difference in that fight versus Xavier just waiting to happen.
Xavier are in the perfect position.
Tira spotted out, trying to run away back into a dip. Hopefully not going to be mowed down, but that's not going to go any further. Still big heads up. Tira, one of the top players in terms of frags in this tournament, so congratulations to him. But we'll see now where Valdez can go with this one. As got to be careful. Xavier all on top of each other. One nade, and that's a lot of HP instantly gone for them.
That's true. The spread that they had has been somewhat contained. Phase 7 Blue Zone is closing in. Abeli is still alive. I have his signature. Let's see if he can pull off some signature plays.
Put it out behind the palm tree. Continuous spray, and now going to go for the Uzi. You know he hit a lot of damage, and Abeli going to go straight back into the Blue Zone. Deny the kill away. There you go. You're not getting that one, Naughty Valdez. That's not going to be for you. Zeus out in third, still a way better performance than what we saw in the last 2 games. Hopefully they can continue that launch in Game 5 to close off day 1 of the World Invitational. Now Xavier, they saw that kill come on through. They, I think, very aware, Imperium, this is the last team, so they're putting everything they have remaining on top of Valdez.
Oh,
big, there you go.
A beautiful grenade.
Ui's out. Now you got to go for the full-on push. You need to get every single player down. Valdez going to be using another one potentially, and now they're down to 1. It's only Martin. He gets flashed up. He has no idea where he currently stands. And Martin, you have to fight your way tooth and nail through. The car explodes, gets an extra knock, gets another one. No way. Martin, are you going to make the clutch play happen? He makes it come through, and that is going to be the game finally.